Good morning, everyone. We are excited to share stories with you this morning. My name is Floyd Stokes, and I am joined by Christiana and Bill, and they're going to be sharing stories with you this morning on Reading 365 on this Thursday morning, November 12th. And Christiana is going to read first. Christiana is a pediatrician doctor and she's originally from Nigeria. And we're so glad that she's here in the United States with us. She participated in the 100 Women Reading last November, and we're so glad that she joined us on Zoom. She has a wonderful story to share with us. And we remember Bill, he's been on Zoom reading before, and he's been a part of our reading with the men, reading with the 100 men reading, with the greeting, and the 500 men reading, and Bill is a retiree, so he has a little more time on his hands. So if anybody has anything, any kind of errand that they need done, we can call Bill because Bill's a retiree. Okay. No, but Christiana, we're glad that you joined us, and why don't you share with us the story that you have for us this morning?
Okay, thank you for having me. The book I'm going to be reading today is titled Just Ask, and it's written by Supreme Court Justice Sanya Sotomayor and illustrated by Rafael Lopez. And it says, be brave, be different, and be you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sonia. My friends and I are planting a garden. Gardens are magical places. Thousands of plants bloom together, but every flower, every berry, and every leaf is different. Each has a different smell, different color, different shape, and different purpose. Some flowers need lots of sunlight, others thrive in the shade. Some have to be trimmed regularly, while others are better off left alone. Some trees and flowers are more fragile, and others are more hardy. Kids are all different too. Some of us are in a hurry, others take more time. Some of us seem shy and quiet, while others are chatty and loud. Some of our differences are easy to spot out. Others take longer to notice. Each of us grows in our own way. So if you're curious about other kids, just ask. Not everyone is comfortable answering questions about themselves, but I don't mind. What am I doing? Several times a day, I prick my finger to measure the sugar in my blood, and I give myself shots of medicine called insulin. I do this because I have diabetes, and my body doesn't make insulin naturally like other people's. Even though this can sometimes hurt, I gather all of my courage to do it to be healthy. Do you ever need to take medicine to be healthy? I do. My name is Raphael, and I have asthma, which means I sometimes have trouble breathing. What then? What when that happens? I take a break and use an inhaler medicine to make breathing easier. Quiet time helps me slow down and catch my breath. My inhaler is like a tool to help my body. Do you use a tool to help your body? I am Anthony, and I use a wheelchair to get around. Even though I can't run with my legs, I can go super fast. How do you get from place to place? My name is Madison, and my guide dog Lucky helps me get places safely because I am blind. My friend Arturo is blind too. He uses a cane to get around. Even though we can't see, we strengthen our senses and notice lots of details others may miss. We can hear with our ears, smell with our noses, and feel with our hands. How do you use your senses? I am VJ. I learn about the world differently because I can see, but I can't hear. I am deaf. Most of the time, I communicate with people using my face and hands through sign language. It's cool to know another language. I also love reading and writing. What about you? I am Bianca and I have dyslexia. So I have to work really hard and take my time when I am reading and writing words. Sometimes I use computer programs to help me. I love learning by doing things. My imagination is full of ideas, and I'm very good at making art from pictures I see in my mind. Are you really good at something? I'm great at dinosaurs. I know all about them. I am Jordan, and I have autism. Organizing and counting all my toy dinosaurs again and again makes me feel calm. My classmate Gianna also has autism, but it's different for her. She doesn't talk, but I like to talk. I like to talk about dinosaurs. What do you like to talk about? For me, listening comes more easily than talking, and I'm a really good listener. My name is Anne, and I speak with a stutter. So sometimes I repeat a word or get stuck when I try to say it. It may take me a little longer to express myself, and sometimes I'm too shy to talk, but I understand everything that's going on. Do you ever wonder if people understand you? I do. My name is Julia. Sometimes I wiggle or make sounds that I can't control because I have Tourette syndrome. People may look at me funny because they think I'm not paying attention or just acting out, but it's not true. I am listening. I don't always like to have to explain. It frustrates me, but it helps when I tell people that it's just what my body does. Do you ever feel frustrated? My name is Manuel, and I have attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder. It is called ADHD. I can get frustrated when I feel the need to move around, even though I'm supposed to sit still. When my teachers and friends are patient with me, if I forget something or get distracted, I can get myself back on track. What's helpful for you? I'm Nolan, and it's helpful to me when the food I eat has a clear label that says it is not free because I am allergic to nuts. They can make me so sick that I would have to go to the hospital if I ate any, even by accident. So I always tell people about my allergy and ask if any food has nut ingredients. Speaking up keeps me healthy. How do you use your voice? I love to sing. I love to talk. I love to make new friends and be included. I am Grace. I was born with Down syndrome. Kids like me with Down syndrome have an extra building block called a chromosome in our bodies. But we are all different from each other too. I can do almost anything any other kid can do, though learning new things can take some time. One way I learn is to ask questions. What helps you learn? It's me, Sonia, again. I asked questions too. When something seems different or new, I just ask my parents or my teachers, and they help me to understand. Because if my friends don't feel ready to explain, this is what I've learned. I imagine if all the plants in this garden were exactly the same. Like, what if we all could grow peas? That would mean no strawberries, no cucumbers, or carrots. It might also mean no trees or roses or sunflowers. Just like in our garden, all the ways we are different make our neighborhood, our whole world really, more interesting and fun. And just like all of these plants, each of us has unique powers to share with the world and make it more interesting and richer. What will you do with your powers? The end.
Wow. What a fantastic story.
Thank you.
That is awesome. We look forward to diving in and talking about that book. There's so much to unwrap there. Wonderful job, Christiana. Thank
Thank
you for sharing with us. Next, we have Bill, and he's going to be sharing a story with us. And Bill, what do you have for us this morning?
I have Max Found Two Sticks by Brian Pinkney and
Wonderful.
published by Simon and Schuster.
That's a fantastic, that's a classic there, Bill. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. So, it was a day when Max didn't feel like talking to anyone. He just sat on his front steps and watched the clouds gather in the sky. There's Max. A strong breeze shook the tree in front of his house, and Max saw two heavy twigs fall to the ground. There's Max, and there are the twigs. What are you going to do with those twigs, Max? Max's grandpa asked as he washed the front windows. Not saying a word, Max tapped on his thighs. Pat, 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 pat. Putter, 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 pat, pat. His rhythm imitated the sound of the pigeons startled into flight. There's Max, Grandpa, and there are the pigeons. Tippity tip, tat, 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 tippity tat, tat. He created the rhythm of the light rain falling against the front windows. See the raindrops? After a while, the clouds moved on and the sun appeared. Cindy, Sean, and Jamal showed up drinking sodas. Hey, Max, what you doing with those hat boxes? Again, Max didn't answer. He just played on the boxes. Dum dum dee dum 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 dee dum. Dee dee dum dee dee dum dee dum dum. Max drummed the beat of the tom-toms in a marching band. This is his imaginary marching band. Hey, what are you up to with those soda bottles? His dad asked as he brought out the garbage cans on his way to work. Max answered on the bottles. Dong, dong, ding, dang, dong, dong, ding, dang. Ding, dong, ding, dong. His music joined the chiming of the bells in the church around the corner. Soon, twins came out to show off their new hats. Hey, Max, they asked, what are you doing with those garbage cans? Max hammered out a reply in the cans. Cling, clang, ding, dang, dang, clangety clang. And there is a real marching band. Suddenly, Max heard thump-dee-dee-dump, thump-dee-dee-dump, thump, 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 as a marching band rounded the corner. Excuse me. There we are. Max watched the drummers with amazement as they passed, copying their rhythms. The last drummer saw Max. Then, with a nod and a wink, he tossed Max his spare set of sticks. Dum 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 dee dum dum dum. Thanks, called Max, and he didn't miss a beat. That's Max and his two sticks, learning to make music. That's the end.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill, for sharing that classic. I've had the pleasure of meeting Brian and the Pinckneys. They're extremely talented folks there. So thank you for sharing that. The father is Jerry Pinckney, and Christiana, you can chime back in now as well. But thank you so much. It's a fun book of Max having fun and using his imagination. So thank you. What drew you to that book?
I was in the store looking at books for picture books to share with my granddaughter, and this one caught my attention. I opened it, and it looked like one that I could read like I did here, where I could read it and show it to keep showing it to her at the same time.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And Christiana, you want to hold the cover of your book up again, using the garden as a metaphor, and with friends from different places and different abilities, and if you want to say disabilities, just shows like acceptance and inclusion. And do you want to talk about some things that really caught your eye in the book, please?
Yes, no, this is a powerful book. And what caught my attention is sometimes we may see people who are leaders and they are great and they are very powerful. We may not know what they may be going through. They may have a disability or a health condition that they have to deal with every day. So the fact that they're the president or they're the vice president, that's all great, but they may be going through something that we may be going through as well. But if we do not ask, we do not know.
Yes, and you bring up a really good point with, you look at children and people, and they quote normal, right? But some disabilities are hidden, and some are more obvious. You had the child that was deaf, right?
Yes.
The whole ADHD. Once you interact with the kids, you can see that there's something going on there. But some abilities are disabilities are seen and invisible. Some are invisible.
That is true. That is true.
And with you being a pediatrician and you seeing all kinds of children, young and old, can you talk a little bit about your job and what drew you to wanting to be a pediatrician?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. What drew me to, first of all, be a doctor was the fact that as a child myself growing up in Africa, I was very sick a lot. So there's a condition called malaria that you get when you're bitten by mosquitoes. So we have lots of mosquito in Africa, and you get bitten as a child, you get malaria. And malaria makes a lot of kids sick, very sick, and a lot of kids die before age 5 from malaria. So I went to the hospital a lot, and I just wanted to figure out how can we make kids better and not die. So that was the first reason why I wanted to become a doctor. The other reason is I love to help people and help people be better. So that's why. And I love children because when we see children, even when I was training to become a doctor, they always seem helpless when they are not feeling well. We always have to depend on what their parents, what their mommies and daddies are telling us. They tell us Billy has a fever or Billy is not eating. Billy cannot speak for the most part for him or herself. Yes. So I wanted to work, it's almost like a vet, where a vet, the dog or the cat cannot speak, the owner would have to speak for them. So I wanted to work with this vulnerable group of people, children essentially, who oftentimes cannot speak for themselves. And I've enjoyed doing that. In my present day job as a pediatrician, I work in the neonatal intensive care unit where I take care of very premature babies who are very sick and again, very vulnerable. But I just like to see how the little ones fight and get bigger and then go home and then come back when they're like 5 years old in kindergarten to say hello to us. Yes. So that's what I do.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have a little cousin who was born, prematurely. I'm thinking like 2 pounds or something crazy, right? They're miracle children, yeah. You can't stop her now.
Love to hear that.
So you're doing a wonderful work, and God bless you in what you're doing. That's beautiful, beautiful to see. Thank you. Wonderful. Well, we want to thank you both for joining us. Bill, again, fantastic job. Thank you so much for taking time out of your retirement to share books with us. We really appreciate you. And Christiana, your first time on Zoom, but I'm hopeful that it won't be your last.
No.
And I love to hear those African stories as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
We'd love to have you come back and share. And thank you. It's been a real joy.
Same here.
Next week I have Fox and Socks.
Oh, the classic. So thank you everyone for joining us today on this beautiful Thursday, Reading 365. We're here every single day at 11 o'clock, and you can hear fantastic stories just like Bill and Christiana shared with you this morning. Have a beautiful day and enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.